Do you have a goal set for the upcoming birth of your baby? Or anything for that matter? And do you know if that goal is based and motivated by pure intention or if there's expectation involved, either overtly or subtly? Hi, I'm Shauna Brandes, and I am committed to freedom in birth and in life. And this purple hair means I am so ready for Burning Man in a few weeks. Today I want to talk to you about something that I've actually been thinking about for a few months, and that is intention versus expectation. And for a lot of people, intention is just a thought in your head, there's no action behind it, but I kind of see it a little differently. Came up for me a few months ago where I realized that there's a real difference in intention versus expectation. And in my mind, the difference is intention is still actionable, but the intention is something that is entirely based on me. Whereas an expectation involves either the outside circumstance or someone acting or turning out in a way according to my goal, to fit my goal. So it requires some outside assistance, you might say. Now, we can clearly see where an expectation can bite us in the butt, because anytime we're relying on a circumstance, a situation to be exactly how we want, or for someone else to do exactly what we want, how often does that happen? It is a recipe for disappointment, judgment, blame, all of that kind of stuff. So expectations, we know, are kind of dangerous and unhealthy. An intention, in my book, the way I've been seeing it lately, is an intention is something that is all about me. This is something that I can completely control because it is not influenced by anybody or anything on the outside of me. Makes sense, right? Well, here's something that I want to talk to you about where an intention can kind of sneakily have an expectation wrapped up into it. And here's how that might look. In a birth, for a long time, I have encouraged my mamas to, have an intention for a natural med-free childbirth, if that's what they want, but to be open to whatever is. And I'm realizing now that even an intention to have a natural med-free childbirth is actually quite a bit of an expectation and intentions clothing. And here's what I mean. So going back to an intention being something that's totally under your control, well, birth is not entirely under your control. For one, your body isn't entirely in your control during childbirth. It's working its own mechanism, it's got its own process and system in effect that you can influence, but not necessarily control. There's also danger because you have another being inside of you that is also playing out their own destiny, that is also a player and a teammate in their act of being born, and has a say in a way over how it turns out. So just on those two reasons alone, you can see how there's reliance on things that you have no control over. Not to mention the environment that you choose to birth in, whether it's a hospital and the kind of doctor and nurse staff that you have on hand, may also be an impediment to your wishes. So the danger is then, is setting an intention for a natural birth when it's not entirely in your control. It's relying on your body, your baby, the hospital, or other birth environment to, and even birth team, to kind of meet your expectations to reaching that goal. It's a setup, a possible setup for disappointment. So what can you do instead? Well, I like to encourage my moms nowadays to think about how they want to feel during their birth experience. Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel at peace? Do you want to even feel in control? And then ask them, what can you do no matter what is happening around you and what unforeseen circumstances arise during childbirth, how can you maintain how you want to feel? If it's calm, by using the techniques of relaxation and breathing and all the things I relay during my prenatal classes to help ground mom during the powerful surges of childbirth. Those would be an anchor for her to grab onto to help her ground within herself and retain that feeling of calm or peacefulness, even when shit hits the fan in the birth environment and it starts to look totally different from what she first envisioned. Another way to look at this is the kind of attitude that you want to go into meeting that goal. And I'll give you an example of this from my own life. How this came up for me was a few months ago. I did a video letter for my parents whom I've been estranged for 15 years. And I was really, really adamant. It meant a lot to me that I was going to approach them in this video letter with nothing but love and gratitude. That was my mission. And I did it. I totally did it. It came across exactly in the spirit that I desired. And it didn't matter that I got no response from the video letter. And the reason it didn't is because I absolutely succeeded in my goal to approach them with an attitude and a spirit of love and gratefulness. Now, if I could have made an intention that would have been really an expectation if I said I want to come at them with love and gratitude so as to reach their heart. Well, that's an expectation because now I'm bringing them into the fold and I can't control how they're going to react and respond. That is their own journey, their own karma, their own thing to deal with. And that would have really tripped me up and I would have been devastated then if that was my intention to reach their heart when I didn't get any kind of response back. So you see how setting an intention that's all completely about you and something that's absolutely in your control can be so beneficial to having a positive and experience on the other side and really feeling successful that you accomplished what you wanted. And the only thing really in your control is how you deal with the thoughts and emotions that come up and and the attitude and spirit in which you approach things. That's really all that's in your control, especially during childbirth. So think about the goals that you have for childbirth. And if they're too specific and they include other outside factors that could totally mess up your goal, try stepping back and asking yourself either, how do I want to feel during my experience? And what tools can I utilize to keep me in that space no matter what happens around me? Or what's the attitude that I want to hold on to and approach that situation? If you can find that for yourself and stick to that, you will have a successful birth experience no matter what happens. You will have accomplished your goal because it's all within you to do so, and you're not relying on anybody else to meet whatever erroneous, dangerous expectations. So I hope this is helpful for you in goal setting and reaching the things that matter for you. And I wish you a really beautiful birth, and I will see you next time.